Now, people always ask me, what's the smallest thing I can do to get the biggest results in my productivity? Pre-planning is that thing. Our book, Winning the Week, How to Plan a Successful Week Every Week, is about the skills and tactics that you need to set yourself up for success during your weekly planning sessions. But what about your month? What about your quarter? What about your years? Now, this is a bigger topic, so I want to give you an overview in this video about how we feel about pre-planning larger increments of time. In Lifehack Tribe, our membership program, we pre-plan our weeks, our months, and yes, even our years together. Not because we're nerds and we like to geek out on this stuff, but because it seriously works. Okay, maybe we're a bit nerdy too. Let's break down how each type of pre-planning is different from one another. So I want you to think of weekly to monthly to annual pre-planning as moving from the tactical to the strategic. So in annual pre-planning, there's almost no tactics. It's almost all strategy. That's where you decide on your big priorities for the year and you put a lot of those big pieces into play. Most people love annual pre-planning because that's the fun stuff. Big vision, overall strategy. What are we gonna do this year? Now, on the opposite side, as you move down to weekly pre-planning, it's almost entirely tactical. On a weekly level, the strategy's already been set. You're just moving the chess pieces around the board and finding a way to win despite the obstacles that are coming at you. Monthly pre-planning sits in the middle, and it's an interesting mix between the two, right? Or maybe better said, it's bridging the two. There are tactical elements, but there's also still a lot of strategic elements. Okay, let's use an example. Say that you didn't reach your monthly goal last month. Most people have a tendency to think, well, I guess I should just go harder this month to hit that goal. That's not the right approach to monthly pre-planning. In a monthly pre-planning, it's time to stop, take a breath, and reassess if that goal still makes sense for you. You aren't changing the goal for the entire year. You still want to get to the same place, but you might decide you need to reevaluate the strategy and maybe pursue a different path to get to that same goal. That's the gift of monthly pre-planning. You get to stop. You get to step away from the tactical execution mode and ask yourself some of the more sweeping, important questions. So if you're a captain of a boat and you've set a destination to a distant shore and you've gotten blown off course, monthly pre-planning is an opportunity to reset the course such that you still arrive at the same place, but maybe through a different set of destinations. So here's what you ask yourself in each type of planning. In your yearly pre-planning, which I like to do in December, you're starting with the year in review. You answer questions like, what were my 3 biggest personal wins? What were my big personal losses? What were my professional wins and professional losses? What lessons did I learn from these wins and from these losses? I like to make a list of things that I want to start doing in the upcoming years, things that I want to stop doing in the upcoming year. And after all those lessons have been learned, you identify your number one objective for the coming year, preferably a leveraged objective. Meaning, if you can accomplish that one thing, your whole year will be a success and all of your future years will be easier for you. Now, having done all of that great visioning, now it's time to create a bridge from where you are to where you want to be for the upcoming year. I have my clients build a leverage ladder, which is literally a ladder of goals that take you step by step from where you're at to where you want to be in a year from now. Sometimes that's broken down month by month or even quarter by quarter. But that gives you milestones and goalposts that let you know you're getting there. And that's it for yearly pre-planning. That leaves you in a perfect place to pick up monthly pre-planning. In monthly pre-planning, we're pulling out the annual pre-plan and making sure that we're still navigating to the same place, but giving ourselves permission to make strategic course corrections where necessary. Now, monthly pre-planning is almost identical to weekly pre-planning, but at that higher semi-strategic level. So you're also looking at your number one priority for the month. You're interrogating your calendar and getting real and accurate with your time supply. And you're going over to your time demand, meaning your to-do list, and you're cleaning out your to-do list and making sure that you're only considering high-yielding bids for your month. And you're getting all of your someday tasks and all of that junk off of your to-do list. Then of course you're matching time supply to time demand. And you're making sure that you've got time blocked up to do your number one most leveraged thing. And of course, we even use tips like flex time on a monthly basis. So yes, you can put in UUW time, not just on a weekly basis, but on a monthly basis as well. So if your annual pre-planning is when you're deciding where you're going to navigate, your monthly pre-plan are these regularly scheduled intervals where you can ask yourself, are we navigating well towards that destination? Do we need to change strategically so we can still make it to that destination? And those two set you up perfectly for your weekly pre-planning session. In fact, if you've done a monthly pre-planning session correctly, you're going to find that 80% of the work of a weekly pre-planning session is almost already done. Now, of course, in that weekly process, you will follow the process we laid out in the Winning the Week method described in our book. It takes just 30 minutes a week. So that's an overview of the difference between annual, monthly, and weekly pre-planning. They're all important, they fit together, and as you move from the weekly process all the way to annual, you're really moving from tactical into strategic. But of course, it moves the other way too. As you move from annual down to weekly, you can see your strategies become reality.